Welcome to The Word on the Street Is with Michael and Gabby, where we mention it all about your favorite Bravo celebrities and the shows they star in.
Today, we have another fabulous guest. His name is Philip Abelana.
Hey guys, so I'm Philip Abelana. I live in Chicago, the Windy City, and I'm such a huge Bravo fan. And thanks, Mike and Gabby, for having me.
Yeah, we're so happy that you're here. So let's just get into your Bravo palette, starting off with your top five favorite housewives.
For sure. Oh my gosh, I have a lot. If I can pick 100, I probably would. But my top five, I'm going to start with Kyle on Beverly Hills. I've always loved Kyle since season one. And number two would be, this is really surprising. I actually love Dorit now. The first the first time she started, I wasn't really like a fan of her. And then as the seasons go along, it just the more I got to know Dorit, I was like, wow, she's great, especially last season, from her fashion down to her just being her authentic self. Number three would be Teresa on New Jersey, of course.
Yeah.
Queen Teresa. Um, Number four, I would say I would add Tiffany Moon on Dallas.
Mm.
I think as an Asian, it's really nice to have an Asian American on the franchise. I mean, we had Jules before, and then we have Tiffany now. So it's really nice. And just with her, a lot of things like I can definitely relate to her. I mean, I'm no doctor, but just the culture and how she's being brought up, it's very relatable. Last but not least, Queen Portia. Um, Portia, I've always stand Portia since she started. I love her before. I love her now even more with what she's doing with Black Lives Matter and everything. I just love Portia. So that's my top five.
That's a great list. You're our first guest that has had Kyle as their number one.
There's something about Kyle that like I actually like adore. As seasons along. I mean, there's some people that don't really like her, some that love her. I mean, there's something about her that just like I adore her. I think with relationship she has with her family, her sister, and just how she is as a mom with her kids.
Yeah, we had two people that had her in their at least their bottom five. For me, I go back and forth. There's seasons I like her and there's seasons I don't. So
Last season for sure. Last season for sure. It's like, okay, Kyle, come on,
she
stop.
cries so much as I'm rewatching. She cries like
She cries a lot.
all right, well, why don't we get into your bottom five house?
Bottom five. All right. First person, Carlton. Carlton was my number one. I think I really tried to give her a chance, but she was out for my girl Kyle. And I was like, no, 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 I don't know. She was like the fact that she was really just kind of in for Kyle, it just made me really dislike her. And it reminded me she's a little bit so sensitive. Like I mean, the one thing I admire about Carlton is that I like that she's very passionate about her Wiccan and things like that. But at the same time, there was a point for me like she was very sensitive about the littlest things. Like rewatching it again, it's like she's very sensitive. So she had it for Kyle, and I was like, I'm not. No, I'm Kyle's my girl. So no, I don't like you. So number two, Amber Marchese,
Yeah, don't
Jersey.
even have to explain
I
that
don't even have to explain that. I mean, no.
one.
Yeah, her husband, nope.
Yeah.
Just a no. Number three, yeah, Kristen Takeman. Yeah. I don't really necessarily like hate her, but I just felt like she didn't really bring a lot to the table. She bored me a lot. Mike, you probably would like this. Teddy. Teddy Mellencamp. Yep.
Yeah.
My friend and I would always have a debate about this. I said, I don't even need to explain myself to you. She's just boring.
Yeah. I hated her since season 8 and people like
Yeah.
liked her and I was like she's so boring and then I was so happy when people finally turned on her like
Yeah. It's like, okay, I'm not surprised by, but yeah, for sure, Teddy. And number five, I was really either one. It was supposed to be Kelly Dodd or Leanne, but like I think I'm gonna go with Kelly Dodd right now.
Mhm.
I can go with Kelly Dodd right now.
Yeah.
It's crazy that I used to like her too when
So
she
did we.
started.
We
Yeah.
both
Yeah,
do.
She was in my top 5. Like she was like
yeah,
number 3 for a while.
Kelly Dodd, she's just a disaster right now.
That's the perfect segue into what we wanted to get into next, which is part 2 of the OC reunion. We just recently learned that Kelly has been fired from Positive Beverage, the company that she bragged about owning. So it's pretty laughable that she's been fired when she was like screaming she was a businesswoman who owned her own company. But Bravo has not yet released an announcement about her being fired. However, in her bio, it now says veteran OC housewife. So there is a lot of questioning about what's going on.
I did see that, and I mean, like being as a fan of Kelly before, I was really disappointed with their behavior,
Yeah.
especially with part two's reunion and with whatever we're going, like what everything that's been going on right now. It just made me feel like, is she really naive? Like, are you just, I don't know what's going on with her. And I'm the type of person too that tweets a lot about Bravo. Whenever I'm watching, I'm always live tweeting. The comment about her like being I'm black and the whole drunk wives matter hat thing, it just didn't really sit well with a lot of people. Um, and it's one of those things that she should at least be more considerate with what's going on. Like,
Yeah.
learn how to read the room. Um, that whole hat was just a disaster, and I find it really despicable. And I'm not surprised really that she was fired from supposed to be her company. And if she would be fired from OC, I would not be surprised either. But I think the whole thing with her, the whole hat just threw me off guard. Her behavior at the reunion just threw me off guard. And her claiming that she's black, it's just, I don't, she's just going down the drain at this point. So yeah,
I completely agree. Like why she's just using that because someone's calling her racist. So she's just going to use that she has 3% in her 23andMe to say that she's
mhm,
black so that she can't be called racist. Well, as Bronwyn said, you can be a minority and still be racist. And
absolutely.
like Andy made a really good point. It's like, well, you don't identify as a black person. You didn't walk through life as a black person with those struggles. So stop saying that you're black. Like that was just so outrageous. And I couldn't even believe that she was like seriously saying that.
It's one of those things that, like, because this whole BLM is such a very touchy subject, and I wish that she kind of took a little bit of a step back, and she kind of took a little bit of a step back and really kind of educated herself. And when even the housewives was saying that, we don't really we support it, we just don't really post about it. To an extent, yeah, sure, I get that you don't really post a lot, and I think that's fine.
Yeah.
But also to an extent that you guys are public figures,
Yeah.
so
I
people.
was really disappointed. I was really disappointed in Shannon saying, like, at 56 years old, I'm not going to become political. And it was like, but we're talking about Black Lives Matter. What about Black people's lives is political?
Mhm.
Yeah.
I was super disappointed in her. And I mean, I guess I was naive to expect more or hope more of Shannon or hope for more from Shannon, but I was just really disgusted to hear her say that people's lives are a political issue.
Yeah, I didn't like that either. And I don't think like necessarily you making an Instagram post like really proves anything because it is all just like could be for publicity or, for people to think something about you. I think your actions show a lot more. So I don't necessarily think like a post is like a huge deal, but Shannon saying it was a political thing really didn't sit well with me either.
I was also very disappointed with Shannon.
But I don't expect much from any of these women. So the my expectations are already on the floor. So
There are lots of rumors circulating that Tamra, Vicky, and Heather Dubrow are in talks with Bravo right now. It's all hearsay. It is not confirmed, but I've been reading that and I'm not mad about Tamra or Heather coming back. I can't stand Vicky. I have no interest in her rejoining.
Yeah, I'm done with Vicky
yeah,
too. As crazy as it sounds, in a way, like I would be excited to see Tamara again. Yeah, sure, she starts trouble and she does a lot, but man, I'm really excited to, like, I would want for her to come back. Like I'm looking at her TikTok and I was like, you are really reaching, but like I kind of miss you, you
yeah.
know?
The thing for me is like Vicky, Heather, and Tamara are like three of my least favorites ever. And
Mhm.
I'd kind of be okay with them coming back. The thing with Tamara is she's so desperate and so thirsty that like I don't want her back. I'm so sick of seeing her stuff. Same with Vicky. Like she constantly says like she started Housewives and like everyone should like kiss her ass. Bitch, you were on the first season, but there was five other women on that season. Like you're not the only OG. You just
Right.
so desperate that you stayed on that long. I'm just so sick of it. Like honestly, it would be okay with them back, but at the same time, I just kind of want it to be done with.
Do you remember when Vicky said to Andy Cohen, like, don't forget where you came from? And he was like, don't forget where you came from. Like during the season 14 reunion where she was a
Yes.
friend, but right before she like threw her like witch fit over
Yeah.
not like staying for the end. And she kept telling him, don't forget you came from, Andy. I was just like, how dare you? Who do you think you are saying that to him? You weren't a producer. You didn't think up the show. You were cast in the original cast, like you said, Michael, with five other women. Like,
I was actually done with her with that Brooke scandal
Yeah.
cancer thing. I was already done with her.
same.
Um, and then
I
she
was done with her after when she went on the double date with Kelly's ex-husband. That was my last straw.
that was an all-time low too.
Yeah.
That was a very
But
all-time low.
I felt like the season 14 finale was like or the season 14 reunion was like Bravo being done with her. Like they did her dirty. They kind of had that little montage. I felt like that was her exit, and I don't honestly think we'll ever see her back. I do think that we could see Tamara and Heather if Kelly goes. I think we would see Tamara, Heather would come back, and then Tamara and Shannon would feud. So I think Shannon would stay. I think
Mhm.
Gina would stay, and that's pretty much the four that I think we would see. I don't know. Elizabeth and Emily don't really bring a whole lot.
I think bringing Lizzie back would be fun. She was a one season wonder. She's friends with Emily. I mean, if she came back, I wouldn't be mad about it.
I wouldn't be mad about that too. I mean, when she had a cameo episode, I said, "Oh my God, Lizzie, where have you been? I miss her." I don't think she was really given another chance. I wish that they should
Yeah.
have. And I
I
would,
thought I liked her when she went after Tamra. I was here for it. I don't know. I mean, I just hope that if they do bring it back, that they do like a complete revamp. Like a lot of the times they say, "Oh, we're gonna do a reboot," but they get rid of like two people and it's not that different. Like, no, it needs to be completely different.
We need a Roni cultural reset.
Complete. Otherwise, throw it in the garbage. Don't want it anymore.
yeah. I'm not really understanding like Bronwyn too. Like I don't really. Okay, I don't know if people are gonna hate me or not, but I kind of like Bronwyn a little bit. Her support with her kids and her son that's doing drag, I really like that about her.
Yeah.
So I don't
I
really know
still
who
like her,
I
but
still like her, but she's. I think that it would be better off for her to really work on herself first because I think she's going through so much right now with her sobriety and just her coming out. And it's almost like she's so overwhelmed with a lot of things. And who
yeah,
knows? She might even be coming back. This might be like, maybe I think she should probably take a break from reality TV and focus on herself.
I
yeah,
think so.
I agree. I think
Yeah,
she's just so like she's in the spotlight and she really likes it, and I don't know that she's not used to that, and so
It's
I
too
think it's
much
just
for
really
her.
affected her, and it's been a lot.
Yeah.
But compared to the other women, I like her, so I don't know.
I still like Bronwyn, and one thing I give kudos to Gina's hair during the reunion.
Yes.
She won me over. I was like, oh my gosh, I actually kind of like her in
Yeah.
a way.
I went
But-
into the season hating Gina, and now I actually like her. I like that she could laugh about her hairdos because she's had some bad ones.
She
I hope,
definitely had some bad ones.
I'll give Gina that. She can always laugh at herself. And what I did rewatch some of the seasons of OC during the pandemic as well as Beverly Hills. And Gina actually has some funny lines. And I felt a little bad for hating on her as much as I did. I actually, if I had to choose between her and Teddy, I like Gina more than Teddy.
yeah, so do I.
For sure. I agree. I agree with that.
I think Gina is safe for if it comes back. I think Gina will see back.
Well, should we head out of Orange County and to Salt Lake City?
For sure.
So we have Meredith disengaging again, which like set Jen off into like a downward demon spiral. I mean, I was like, Jen, I was so disappointed in her when she like slapped her. It was so not okay.
Definitely
I-
not okay. But I'm with Mike. I love Jen.
Me
Yeah.
too.
I love Jen Shah. I've loved her before before the episode started. I think she really had a name on herself, and I really like her on the reunion. Not the reunion, but I really like her on this first season. The one thing I really have to kind of say with just the last episode, um, her reaction is definitely not Whitney's fault. I have a friend and my best friend actually got hooked into Housewives. So he's done with Beverly Hills, he's with Salt Lake. And for me, I think her behavior is not Whitney's fault. In my opinion, was it appropriate for Whitney to kind of bring that to the party? Absolutely not. It's not the right time, not the right place. However, Jen's reaction is Jen's reaction. That's not Whitney's fault. I can kind of see a little bit of myself with kind of Jen with her little reactions here and there.
Uh-huh.
So I could really relate to her on that level because I have a temper sometimes. I could go from 0 to 60 too. And I see that. And for me, she's very vulnerable. And I think she's really opening up a lot for her first season. I think, and I don't know if, and I think I could see some housewives on their first season, like they definitely try to hide a few things. They really want to try to portray as someone else, but as the season goes along, they'll be like, you have to be more authentic, be more authentic. And I think Jen did that from the beginning. So I like Jen, but that last episode was whoa.
Yeah.
And
I completely agree. I think Jen is putting it all on the table. And as a viewer, I really appreciate it because there's people like Meredith that I feel like aren't. And although I'm someone that had divorced parents and I can understand her reasoning for disengaging, I just like as a viewer don't care about her. But this episode was hard as a Jen lover. Like I really couldn't stand Jen this episode. I really couldn't like be on her side here.
I will say Heather did give me a new line that I really like. It's not necessary. It's not. I really like that line a lot.
And like the
That
thing
was
is, they, at the bath thing, whatever, Whitney apologized. They hugged it out. I felt like it was just so unnecessary for Jen to get that angry about it after they've already talked through it.
And Jen having a bodyguard, that's new.
yeah,
That was odd.
And then why is it always the most like aggressive housewives that have their own bodyguards? Does anyone else notice that?
I noticed that. I saw the bodyguard. I was like, okay, she's giving me Danielle Staub like New Jersey vibes over here. What's going on?
And Giselle.
And Giselle, I mean, come on. What?
Oh my God. Danielle Staub always like had like a band of like misfits with her, like people who are just like, where do you find these people?
Oh, and like Giselle with her bodyguard too. It's like, Jen, what's going on here? But it's so funny because so it's so funny because I actually also am a brand ambassador for Whitney skincare line, Iris and Bow.
Mm.
It was she talked about last episode, and she talked about like what's coming up, and she was saying it's definitely going to be intense because some of us were asking how's the episode going to be. It's intense, and she was right. It was definitely intense. It's almost like I feel bad for Whitney, but at the same time, like I could definitely understand like Jen's kind of reaction too. But I don't think it's appropriate at all.
I felt like this trip overall was really weird. Like, I didn't enjoy it. I don't know if that was just me, but like, we didn't have them as a group at all. I mean, we had Jen and Heather shopping, we had the girls racing. We didn't have them like when the Beverly Hills girls went to Rome. I know this isn't obviously Rome, but they walked around the city. They had group things. I wanted to see more of that, and there was none of that. It was just odd, like scenes with two people and two. I just didn't. It just like felt really jumbled, and I really didn't enjoy this trip at all.
Yeah, I agree. It's almost like they've added that trip the last minute.
Yeah,
Yeah, really. I mean, it was so weird because it's like Mary was in her closet again.
yeah,
She's in her closet again. And um there really wasn't any sort of bonding between all of them. I mean, I wanted to see like what were you doing? So
yeah. And I think we're about done here. I mean, we had the group thing with, I don't know, what was this lady that they were
Kim,
saying?
I don't know who she was. I forgot her name, but
I
Kim
don't
that
know, like what was her, though I don't really know what the point of seeing her was.
She reminded me of the psychic from Beverly Hills season 1, the dinner party from hell.
Alice,
That got
Yeah,
major vibes from that.
Alison Dubois. Yes,
she was
yes.
a little chiller, like more
Yeah,
chill.
she was definitely a lot chill. That's so funny. Yeah, she was giving me that vibe. Salt Lake, I must say though, Salt Lake overall did not disappoint.
No, it didn't.
I might
I love
disagree a
all.
little. It
Okay.
started out so strong for me that I think I just had like these high expectations, and I think what hurt it was Mary fizzling out for me because there was no other drama besides Jen and Mary. And literally take Jen out of the show, no drama
Nothing.
whatsoever without
Yeah,
Jen,
I
and
could
we
see that.
need more. So I hope next season we see more of Mary and we get another housewife and maybe a friend. I need more people in the mix because this group of five is not bringing it as a group, even though I feel like all of them individually, I really like think they're unique and different, but as a group, it's just not meshing for me right now.
Absolutely. Yeah. I definitely want to see more of Mary too.
Mhm.
I
Like
definitely
I
want to
don't
see
like her, but she's so interesting and I
she's
love watching her.
interesting. Yeah, she's really interesting. And it's almost like I feel bad because there's not a lot about Mary, just her in her closet, I guess. I mean, but I want to see more of her. I'm so
No.
curious about how her life is. And I guess in a way,
Everything.
yeah, I mean, I was very being such a Bravo fan for so long. It even took me a while to really watch Dallas.
Yeah.
I took the moment we found out that there's going to be another franchise, and when I think it was announced during BravoCon that it's Salt Lake City,
Yeah.
my first reaction was, "What's in Salt Lake?"
I
That was
thought
my
the same
first
thing.
reaction. I was like, "What's in Utah?
Yeah.
What?" So I was very skeptical at first, but then okay, I'll give this a shot. And I was like,
Mhm.
oh wow, okay, I guess this is not what I thought it is. So I'm excited for, I think they renewed for season 2. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
just confirmed. Yeah, I'm excited for the next season, and I'm really excited to see like what what they can bring to the table. I'm excited for that.
Yeah.
I'm so excited that there's going to be a season 2. I agree, the drama has dropped off a bit, but for the most part, I've really, really loved this first season. And we've also learned that the reunion is going to be 3 parts, which is a
Yes,
Housewives first for a season 1 reunion to be 3 episodes.
it is.
So I'm looking forward to the reunion. We've already seen the looks. For the most part, they're not great. But I think nonetheless, it's going to be a really good reunion.
Yeah,
I'm
I'm
very
excited to
excited.
see Jen and Mary face off because I've just kind of been waiting for that. Like with Beverly Hills last season, we never had a face off between Brandy and Denise. And when things like build up and then we never like come to a head, it just like kind of ruins it for me. So I am excited to see them sit down. And I do think like this city has a lot of potential. So I am looking forward to next season still.
Hopefully Meredith will not disengage. She will not stop engage. She will actually engage this time. I want her to. I mean,
Yeah,
it's an iconic like tagline, I guess, because I've done it. I've already used it. I said, okay, I'm disengaging with this.
Seriously.
So, but you can't always do that when you're on a reality show. You have to engage with people. But I like her in a way. I do like her. I mean, she's from Chicago. I like that about her. But I want to see more of her and not just leaving.
Same.
I don't. I'm done with her, honestly.
Well, should we head out of Utah and into Atlanta, Georgia?
Yes.
Episode of the week by far. I love this episode. It was so good.
It was so good. It was so funny. It was a little shady. I mean, I'm not surprised it's Atlanta. And that's all. I mean, I have no words with Kenya giving Marlo that room. I
I yeah. I want to just rip into Kenya right now because she pissed me off. First, you took a private jet with like, so you're a host of this trip. And then when all the girls were on an 8 hour bus ride, you expect them to be like so interactive and into this game when they just want to have fun. They've been sitting on a bus, they've been cooped up. Then you order food for yourself, which is fine, but wouldn't you say, like, hey, I'm ordering food if anyone wants it? But instead, you're like, well, there's food in the fridge. Well, if there was food in the fridge, then you would have been fine with eating that. And obviously, you weren't. So she was just a terrible host overall. And I just have to say that. So,
I agree with you. I agree with you. I mean, I understand that you have to bring your kids, your daughter. I get that, but like maybe extend that to the other ladies. I
yeah,
mean, considering Portia also has issues with Dennis, I mean, just extend that to the kids. If you want to bring your daughter or your children, you can. But yeah, I mean, she's not, I agree with you, Mike. She's not a very good host. I mean, if there's food, why don't you just eat the food that you bought? I mean, I don't understand. And the last thing I want, and also too, the last thing I want after being on the cart is play murder mystery.
exactly. I mean, it's fun and I think I would enjoy
Yeah.
it, but not after an 8 hour hot bus ride.
Yeah.
Like,
No.
Michael really loved the part where the lady ran into the room like, pretending to die.
that was really funny. I was like screaming. Like,
I was actually cooking dinner and I was like watching it a little bit and I saw that I was like, what is going on in this episode? And then she just started running.
it was so funny. Her
And
acting was on point though.
it was on point and Portia jumped on that couch.
She
I
jumped over the couch. She
yeah.
jumped over to hide behind it. It was so funny.
I just laughed. I was like, oh my God, what's going on? I'm not really feeling Latoya right now.
I'll disagree. I love Latoya.
Really?
Yeah. I think she's like Kenya Jr., but like she's just really funny to me. I think she's messy like Kenya is, but
I
like
like her messy part, but like I was like, okay, what are you like? Who are you?
I just think she has potential to be a good like housewife and cast member. So
Hopefully they will bring her if hopefully she will be back. Um I'm just really still wondering why are they not giving Marlo a peach?
yeah, we've all said that. I honestly at this point think that Marlo doesn't want to share. I've heard a lot that she doesn't want to share everything with her life. So being a friend of is perfect for her because she can be with the cast and the group and still be involved without having to share certain storylines.
I just want to see more of her. I think she's really fun, and it's I think she's really fun. I think I want to get to know more about Marlo and how she is with her nephews.
Yeah.
More of her, and I wish she would open up, but I could understand that. I mean, this whole season in Atlanta overall has been really good so far from the beginning. How they've highlighted Portia's really activism and everything that's going on, Black Lives Matter and things like that. I think Bravo really did really well with how this franchise is starting out, especially for this season. And I'm really proud of Portia. She came a long way from that railroad comment to how she is now. I mean, I kudos to her. What I love about this franchise too is I've watched it from the beginning,
Mhm.
and I feel really old now that like thinking that Riley is going to college. And but yeah, this last episode, Kenya, messy. Am I surprised? Absolutely not. She's always been messy. And she's that girl. She's always messy.
Gabby's a huge Kenya lover, so I'm curious to hear what your thoughts were, Gabby.
She was super in the wrong for so many things. Like, I mean, I'm not like a cult follower. Like, I can't say, yes, Kenya can do no wrong. She was being really messy. And I know that's what I love about her, but like, she was just making herself look bad. Like,
Yeah.
Kenya's always usually like saying she's so much better than everybody else, but like, she wasn't walking the walk. She was, if she's so fabulous, I would expect her to be fabulous as a host. I felt she dropped the ball big time. But at the same time, she was totally wrong ordering food just for herself and not saying, hey, I'm ordering. Does anyone else want something? She should have said that. But like the girls at the same time, they're not helpless. Like they all have phones and tons of money. They can also still call in their own food. Like Kenya doesn't have to take care of them like the entire time. So that's the only thing that I was like, okay, the girls still can, they don't, they're not, Kenya's not there to wait on them hand and foot. That I will say. Everything else, I thought Kenya was completely out of line.
And she has those iconic lines for sure. She can be very messy. Yeah, I don't dislike her. I have a love-hate relationship with Kenya. I do,
Yeah.
however, like last season for sure, I really felt bad for her, and with just what she's going through. I mean, the lady needs to be loved. She wants just to be loved, but you know,
Yeah. And she like has a tendency to get into these very toxic relationships.
yeah.
She's got a lot of issues, and
She does.
I said I don't know that she'll ever really be in a happy relationship, but what did you guys think about Latoya bringing the wig for Drew and then Drew signing the autograph?
That was actually really funny. That was actually really funny. I actually died laughing at that. I mean, Latoya, okay, I'm a little indifferent with her, but I am willing to give her a chance.
Yeah.
That was actually really funny.
I kind of liked seeing a more fiery side of Drew. Like we saw that where she was like, I'm from Chicago. I'm from Chicago. Don't lay your hands on me. So I
Yeah.
liked getting this spicier side of Drew, which was completely new to me. And then on top of that, when she did the autograph, that I felt that was actually really clever. I thought it was like a little over the top, but I felt Latoya had it coming. She's been really rude to Drew, and for reasons that aren't clear to me. Maybe they have some underlying beef that I'm not privy to, but I don't really get what her issue is. But I thought Drew's response with "My wigs are custom made in LA, thanks" was a really good
That
response.
was hilarious. Yeah, that was hilarious. I don't know what was up with her with going on Drew, but yeah. I mean, last episode, I'm just kind of like, all right, whatever. But I'm willing to give Latoya a chance, and I want to see more of her too.
I wish
So
I wish Latoya would have not told the girls about the wig so that she could have caught Drew off guard because I think that would have been funnier. But I think like the season overall it started out kind of slow just because we didn't have a lot of group stuff. And now that we're finally like seeing all the girls together, I'm really enjoying it. And I love that we have like 5 friends So I don't. It's such a big group. It's just like really fun.
It's a really good season overall, and I think I don't know what the next season, next episode will be.
I think this trip is going to get extended probably like 3 or 4 episodes because
Mhm.
from the previews I didn't we barely saw any of the stripper stuff in the previews. So I think that they're gonna like give us a lot out of this trip, which I'm happy for because I love the group and we have 10 girls there. So there's gonna be good content.
There's gonna be a lot of drama, a lot of messy behavior, and I'm so
Yeah,
excited for that.
yeah. What
Should
did
we
you guys think about like the Marlo and Kenya drama at the end as well?
I mean, I think Kenya is very validated in her feelings against Marlo. I think Marlo was really horrible in that moment where she was like, "Oh, Kenya's own mother doesn't want to talk to her." I kind of have never liked Marlo ever since then, personally. Saying that to anyone, much less Kenya, who obviously has got a lot going on with that, a lot of to unpack there. But to say that to somebody, I actually thought was one of the most cruel things I've ever heard someone say. So I'm not a fan of Marlo, and I think Kenya, as dramatic and messy as she is, I don't think she's wrong for disliking Marlo.
Yeah,
Mhm.
I agree. It's her feelings were definitely valid. I mean, yeah, I mean, Marlo, I also have like a lovely relationship with Marlo, but that I agree with you with that, Gabby. I mean, that's a really that's a really low. That's basically a low blow.
Yeah.
That's a really low blow. But I'm also not surprised that Marlo would say that she's also just as messy as Kenya.
Mhm.
But
Yeah, they kind of met their match with each other, I think. They're both
yeah,
messy. But I love Marlo. I mean, that comment was bad. I'm not gonna, but I've always like loved her. So
she's
I
funny.
I would always enjoy Kenya for like being able to go toe to toe with anybody. I mean, there's really not anyone she's scared of, which
yeah,
I admire about her because she can go after Nene and actually shake Nene up, which not many other housewives can do.
yeah, that's tough.
Yeah.
She can go after Nene, Sheree, Kim, Portia, Marlo, literally all the
Chateau, she ain't done
Phaedra.
Yeah,
yet.
Chateau she ain't done yet. I mean, she is messy. That's
Yeah,
Chateau,
Kenya
she's
messy more.
messy.
yeah. That's why I enjoy her. Even though I'm never on her side, I like as a whole I love Kenya, but like in individual episodes, I don't like I'm never on her side. It's weird.
I think I think when they did the reunion last season, she was saying, "You look like a white woman on drag. Shut the hell up." I died, and then she said, "I don't know if I'm like looking at a scene of the Real Housewives or a scene on White Chicks." That was that was really hilarious. I said, "This girl is messy."
Yeah,
It's like love her or you hate her, admit it. She can be very messy and she can be very shady.
yeah. I still appreciate her
On
though.
top of all of that, her feud with Portia, and I think I can speak for Michael on this, we both love that feud. It's one of the best housewife feuds, in my opinion. And I
My
think
Ashy.
It's
I
definitely going
by
to
Ashley,
be it's
by Ashley is legendary.
I
Exactly.
agree. And I do think that that feud is going to pick up this season once Stripper Gate starts because Kenya's the one to like call it out. So
Yeah. I can't wait for
it's
that.
going to heat up. I'm excited. I think it was
For
a
that.
slow start, but I feel like we're finally here and I'm like super excited.
We're
Yeah,
picking up steam for
Yeah.
sure.
for sure.
Whereas some of the other cities, I'm just like, okay, we're definitely somewhere, but we're not where I want to be.
That's about it for Atlanta. So now we're going to move into the most recent episode of Dallas, where we picked up with Brandy's birthday at the winery. Tiffany starts to go toe to toe with Carrie, and then Deandra gets into it, and it turned into a big screaming match at Brandy's party, which was, I mean, it was the most entertainment we've had this time, but I felt bad that it was on Brandy's birthday party.
I have to say, like, I'm so proud of Deandra for snapping on Carrie because I would have snapped like 10 comments ago. Like, she had it coming. She's so fucking annoying. I cannot stand her. She's constantly like making these little comments and just nagging, and it's like, shut the fuck up. Like,
I
I'm
know. When he was like, "Were you
this,
drunk when you were planning my birthday party?" And like, "Why is the tequila warm?" I was like, "Oh my God, I can't imagine being that mean to someone who just planned a birthday party for me."
and she's always complaining. And then when Deandra said something about like talking to her daughter about picking out the cake, and then she had a comment about that, like, oh, like that, like she wasn't even appreciative. Like, I just can't stand her.
Yeah. There's one word I will describe Carrie this season: annoying.
Hmm.
She's really annoying this season. And yeah, yesterday's episode, I was really going at it with Twitter. I mean, shut up already. I mean, just shut up. And it's yeah, she's just overall, she's just annoying this season. I think because maybe Leanne's not on this season, that she thinks that she can kind of take over that place. But no, girl, it's not a good look for you right now. So you might want to chill out a little bit. And she keeps picking on Deandra, and I'm really like, I agree with you, Mike. Like, I'm really glad that Deandra finally snapped at
Yeah.
her. Because I would be too. I was like, kudos to Deandra for not like slapping her, sitting next to her. I would have just like, be quiet. And she threw a party. Like, what have you done for what were you doing for Brandy? Like, did you do something for her birthday? I mean, come on. And she also went toe to toe with Tiffany, which I don't really like. Um,
Oh my God, Carrie made herself look like such a damn fool with Tiffany. Oh my gosh, like when she was like, "Oh, sorry, I'm Mexican. Spanish is my first language," and Tiffany was like, "I'm Chinese, and Chinese is my first language." Like, it was just such an outrageous thing to say to Tiffany.
she looked ridiculous at that point.
So
And
dumb.
yeah, she looked ridiculous at that point. Like last, like, so I just recently, obviously, just kind of started watching Dallas during quarantine. I'm so glad I finally got caught up with it. I felt bad for her for like Leanne's like racist remarks, and obviously that was uncalled for. And I think this season I was like, okay, maybe she'll be a lot better, or she's gonna. Nope, absolutely not. I don't know what's going on with her, but it's like one of those things too. I understand that you're going through stuff with your family and you're going through stuff, but it doesn't give you a right to be an asshole. And
Yeah.
she definitely gave me asshole behavior that episode.
The thing with me is I didn't like Carrie last season. I was on her side because how could you be on Leanne's side last season? But
Mhm.
like I thought Carrie was annoying last season, so like I didn't expect much from her, but she's worse this season.
She's
And
just annoying, yeah, for sure.
yeah, and I do think that Tiffany like shouldn't have called Brandy COVID girl, but like Cam and Carrie have just made a fool out of themselves when they're arguing with Tiffany. Honestly, they both. I want to like Cam so bad, and I just can't like her. Like she just says dumb stuff where I just can't like her.
She's
Yeah. Oh, Cameron. I mean, when she started, yeah, when she started, yeah, she's overly
Yeah.
sensitive. She's overly sensitive.
She just like when she argues, her points are like so dumb, and then she doesn't like stop bringing things up. And like last season, she had some fun moments, and I was like, oh, I kind of like her. Like I was thinking now without Leanne, I would really like her, and I just don't. Like I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, it's the whole like the dim sum episode that just
Yeah,
really
I mean,
irritates.
I do think that Tiffany like forced it a little bit.
Mhm.
I'm not. I mean, I love Tiffany, but like I'm not gonna deny that. But then Cam, like her arguments are just so dumb. Like saying that Tiffany is stereotyping a whole country, like things like that. I just can't get behind.
Yeah, she definitely kind of forced that. I mean, I personally, I wouldn't force my friends to eat something that they're not comfortable with. I
Yeah,
obviously, like, I share my culture to my friends and
yeah,
the food. But if you don't want to eat it, then that's fine. I wouldn't like, you have to eat this. That I Yeah, I think she definitely kind of forced that, but I
yeah.
love it.
That was the only time I've disagreed with Tiffany this season. She was getting a bit obnoxious. Like when someone politely declines, Cameron wasn't even, I didn't think she was like, oh my God, get that away from me. Like the second she saw it, she just was like, I no thank you. I didn't think she was like horrible about it, but she started to get annoyed when Tiffany kept saying it. So that's like the only time I think Cameron's been validated in
Yeah.
what she's saying. But the rest of the time I find Cameron like really like annoying.
Yeah,
Yeah,
the thing with Cam is I think she was valid, but then the way she argues it and the way that she articulates it is just so
Yeah.
like off that
Ruins like a good point she started with.
exactly. So,
yeah,
but I think Tiffany has a lot to offer. I think she has more of a storyline than most of the women. Like I don't think Brandy has a storyline at all this season.
yeah, no.
Stephanie's storyline is making an office for like I don't even know. Um like I feel like no one even really has a storyline besides Carrie and Tiffany and Cam's is her dog, so I don't know.
Yeah, and I don't know what Deandra is going. What's her storyline right now?
Yeah,
You know,
but
I
like
do.
I'm super interested in Tiffany, her daughters, her career, her balancing that. Like I actually enjoy her individual scenes.
I really like her. She's such a good addition to Housewives. Um, she was sharing her 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 sharing to Brandy about her struggle. I definitely related to that. I also moved here at a very young age, just like her. My mom moved here when I was 12, and I didn't see her till I was 17.
Wow.
I didn't experience like really that, with the eyes and everything, but I could definitely understand like what her struggle is and what she's going through. And with the whole someone's asking for another doctor that doesn't have coronavirus, that's really sad, but that's also very true right now. I have Filipino friends are nurses. I have friends are in the medical field, and that happens, and it increased now because of the pandemic, and it's really sad. And I really like Tiffany a lot because of just her sharing her culture. And even yesterday's episode, even last night, when she was sharing her struggle with her husband about her balancing being a mom and with her husband, I said to myself, I knew exactly what she was going through.
Yeah.
Like I get it. I can understand why she feels a little guilty. Like, oh, I understand what she's going through. I think coming from experience, like when when you as an immigrant, as like having an Asian parent, like having Asian parents, it's kind of like that's how they are. Like my mom really kind of sacrificed a lot, and they've actually sacrificed a lot for us. And in an Asian culture, there's a certain expectation that you have to do. um you have to be successful, whatever, you have to be a nurse, a doctor, and things like that. You have to do that. um so it can be a struggle to really juggle that, because like she wants to have a balance, but she also don't want to let her parents down. So I really understand what she's going through, and it was so sad. It's like, wow. I said, I tweeted, and I even tagged her. I said, I get where you're coming from, girl. I mean, as an Asian and having parents that have expectations for you, I understand it. So it's just really nice to kind of watch that on TV and to be able to relate to her in a way. But yeah, overall this season I like Dallas and I really like her. And yeah, Carrie is just annoying. Like she was even saying about, you know, Tiffany not wanting to drink, and it's like she has a job that she has to be awake for.
Yeah, she's like, why don't you just plan ahead to like have the day off? And she's like, I don't have that luxury. Like, I thought Carrie was just being so insensitive, and I'm not like discrediting her. I know she has a lot going on in her personal life, but she just sounded like an idiot saying that. Like, Tiffany is like a doctor during a pandemic. You think she just has like all the free time in the world? What are you thinking?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, she doesn't. Like her one day off, she's filming probably with you guys. So I mean, what more do you get? I mean, I just don't
Yeah.
understand her.
The other annoying thing with Carrie is she'll like always bitch about Eduardo, but then she'll be like, well, if I'm not in my relationship, then I have no money.
Yeah.
And it's just annoying. It's like, so you bitch about your man, but then you bitch that like you wouldn't have anything without him. And it sounds like she just stays with him because of the money, but she's like scared that he's gonna divorce her. I don't know. It's like just really annoying. But
Yeah.
with
I
Tiffany, I
I don't see that as a very happy relationship because, like, what we see on camera, I can't imagine it's wonderful off camera. This is
yeah,
my speculation, I guess.
I do like her support with her children though.
Yeah,
I like
same.
her
Yeah.
daughter,
Yeah.
Olivia. And the
Yeah.
other daughter too that was helping with the store. I like her as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, with Tiffany, I think it's great that, you know, we have that representation with her. I think she doesn't want to give her kids the childhood that she kind of had, but she also like has this career that she loves and she doesn't want to give that up as well. And she asked, I just saw a post recently or today that said that she may not return next season because a lot of her free time was going to filming the show. And, you know, when she's not working, you know, it took time away from her family, which
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I think she has a pretty good reception from fans. So I'm hoping that that would keep her on, but I don't know.
I
Hopefully
mean,
she will.
selfishly, I'm hoping she just like quits her candle business and stays on Housewives.
Yeah.
Me too.
Or have like source that out and have people like package the candle because she like packages them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She has a lot of business, but like she's definitely, yeah, I definitely felt bad for her, and she was very vulnerable last night. And
Yeah.
it's just really not, and it's just like one of those things. I said, yep, that's exactly how I was kind of being taught or raised by my parents, because they definitely have high expectations. I
Mhm.
mean, when I told my mom that I did not want to continue my nursing degree, she was heartbroken.
Oh.
She was definitely heartbroken, because she even said, like, I gave, the reason why I came here is to give you a better life, and I want you to finish this to be successful. It's just not. I said, Mom, it's just not for me.
Mhm.
And
And
I
I think
get.
that's Tiffany's worry is that, you know, if she takes time, you know, if she's part time, then her parents are going to have a similar reaction.
Yeah.
Well, Philip, thank you so much for joining us. It's been so great chatting with you and gossiping with you. We always love it. If there's anything that you want to plug, your Instagram, your TikTok, your
Absolutely.
Bo and Iris and Bo.
Iris and Bo. Yeah. Yeah. Thanks, Gabby. Thanks, Mike, for having me. This was so much fun. Yeah, you guys can follow me on Instagram. I believe, I don't even know. I forgot my handle, but it's my handle is phillyphil.18 on Instagram. And my TikTok is also phillyphilphil18. And my Instagram, you can see my link for the Iris and Bow merchant shop, and I'm offering a 20% discount for anyone who wants to purchase Iris and Bow products from Whitney. It's Phil18. It's a 20% off discount. She's currently offering like the 4-step um skincare package. Like, yeah, I mean, I really just kind of did that just for the sake of, this is kind of fun, like a brand ambassador. Like, that's pretty cool. Let me just apply and whatever. And then I got accepted. It was so funny. And then she had a Zoom call with us last week.
My gosh.
Yeah, she did a Zoom call with us last week, Wednesday. And so she kind of gave us some tips about the reunion. I mean, we all know it's 3 parts. I did ask her a question. I said, "Hey, Whitney, if you were to describe the season finale in one word, or just any word, would you describe what would it be?" And she said, "It's so bad." I don't know what it. I said, "What, really?" And she's like, "Well, I mean, it's really gonna be, it's gonna continue from what you see from this episode coming up to like the season finale, and it's just like, oh no, but it's also gonna give you a preview of how good the reunion's gonna be."
Oh my gosh, I can't wait.
I was like, okay, then I guess this is gonna be really good then. There's definitely gonna be some moments on the reunion that I'm so excited to watch. But yeah, this has been so much fun. I'm so excited for this. Yeah,
Yeah, thank you so much.
for
And we'll
sure.
we'll put your handles in the podcast description too.
All right. All right.
Thanks so much, Phil.
You.
Thank you.
Now we are going to dive into part 1 of the Southern Charm reunion. Do we know yet if it's 2 or 3 parts?
I think it's just 2. I don't think they've ever had a 3-part reunion on Southern Charm.
I'm just wondering if like maybe they would drag it out the way they did with the finale episodes. So I wouldn't put it past them at this point. If it's a super juicy reunion, I don't know. I feel like they might, because they didn't say. The reason I ask is because last week they were like next week on part 2 of the reunion,
Yeah.
like with OC with part 2, it was like next week the reunion concludes.
I'm so done with this season. Like OC and Southern Charm, I'm so happy they're ending. But it's
Well,
crazy that now we've had, if you think about the podcast, we've had 2 full seasons that have aired and finished now with OC. So we started, obviously, we had the podcast when OC premiered, and now it ended. And now Southern Charm, we had it when it premiered, and now it's ending. So we've made it through 2 full seasons.
we made it through. We made it through like some really bad TV, but we're
Yeah.
here and standing.
Yeah.
And yeah, the Southern Charm reunion, I mean, the reason I wouldn't be mad if there was a 3rd part, which I've now learned there isn't, I just thought there was a lot of drama and like the amount of like juicy drama surrounding Madison and like who this MLB player is, and like there were so many different people in the running, like A-Rod, some other guy who I can't remember, and then Eric Decker's name was even being thrown around. I was like, okay, but he's NFL, so I don't really know why his name's in there. But
Yeah.
now apparently a lot of these A-Rod rumors are true because Danny, who we all know since season 1, was on a podcast recently saying that she was hanging out with Madison one day and someone FaceTimed Madison and it was A-Rod.
Mhm. Yeah, it's very interesting. I haven't been following it as much as you just because I feel like I'm not that interested in like Madison, although if it is A-Rod, that would be interesting just because he's engaged to J-Lo. Um, although I do like Madison, I do think she can be kind of thirsty. But I'm not sure that this is the attention that she wants because J-Lo's fan base is gonna destroy her if it's
Yeah.
real. So
The J-Lo fan base is the Pacific Ocean in comparison to Madison's fan base, which is
nothing. I mean, some people might like her, but Southern Charm isn't like.
oh, I know. I'm just saying her fan base is
Yeah,
massively smaller than J-Lo.
for sure. I mean, I like Madison on the show, but J-Lo is a huge actress, singer, whereas Madison's just has been on full time one season on.
Well, that's why so many people were like, is there any truth behind this? Because like he is A-Rod engaged to J-Lo, and she's like kind of C borderline D-list celebrity on Bravo, who not many people, not even like a lot of Bravo fans know her if they don't watch Southern Charm.
Yeah.
So it just is kind of, it's all hard to believe, but like there's a lot of signs pointing to yes. So it's just, it's really crazy.
Yeah. It'll be interesting to see it play out. Um, Now I do think that there is a double standard with the guys and like on Madison where like Shep like copped to cheating on Taylor and they were like, crickets. But then Madison like doing what she's doing, it's like they're all so against her and it's annoying.
Yeah, I only think like next week is going to get juicier and like suddenly Catherine like is starting to be really like aggressive towards Leva,
Yeah.
which like I don't really know where this Catherine was all season.
Yeah. Because
We saw
Catherine ran away from drama all season long and now all of a sudden we're at the reunion and she wants to be all big and bad and act like she's
you
so
must feel empowered having like Andy there because Andy, if once a fight starts going, Andy shuts it down after about 2 seconds because like the overlapping voices make for really bad TV because you
bad.
can't close caption that many voices all at the same time. So Andy, like Andy obviously is a TV guy, he shuts it down. And Catherine knows damn well what she's doing when she like starts a fire that way, knowing that it's going to be put out quickly.
Yeah, exactly.
So Catherine's a coward. She actually like, well, as you know, I really can't fucking stand her at this point.
Yeah, I'm over her. I think the biggest thing I got out of this episode was finding out that Cameron left the show before Catherine brought up the rumor that Cameron's husband was cheating on her, which in
Yeah.
my opinion, like, I feel like Catherine was trying to like save herself with that. And for me, that actually is worse because she brought the rumor up knowing Cameron wasn't going to be there and knowing that Cameron could not defend herself against that rumor.
Yeah, that was very shady of Catherine. I really felt like she was grasping at straws to
Yeah.
just like um throw a dagger Cameron's way is how
Yeah.
I took it.
Yeah. I feel like if they're not on the show and they're not on the show, why even talk about them? They're not relevant to the season.
And she clearly has been listening when people are like, oh, Cam just has everything Catherine wants. And she's like, I don't want her life. And it's like, okay, why don't you scream a little louder, Catherine?
Yeah. And how I do feel like there were a couple seasons that Cam was rude to Catherine. And so I could see it that like kind of being valid. Like,
Yeah, I feel like the rudeness she showed towards Catherine, she should have equally showed to Thomas, but she didn't.
Yeah.
I feel like she always was nice to Thomas when Thomas is a scoundrel.
Yeah.
And I'm like, Catherine is no angel, but like she got royally screwed over by Thomas, in my opinion.
Yeah.
He was so mean to her, and like she obviously she wanted nothing more than for things to work out with the two of them. I can't fault her for that. So I just wish like the only time we ever saw Cameron be catty was at Catherine. I would have liked to see her channel that same energy towards Thomas when he actually is worse than Catherine, I think.
Yeah. I think like if that happened a couple seasons ago, I would understand. But actually like Cameron came around on Catherine and like was standing up for her against Ashley. So that's why I just don't understand the whole thing.
But. Yeah. Catherine seems like one of those people who in the moment is like, oh yeah, let's get everything back to normal. I'll just say sorry, accept your apology. But then they realize they're still really angry about it. So they bring it up again and it becomes like way more drama.
Yeah, kind of like Jen Shah.
100%. Thank you so much for tuning in to episode 16 of The Word on the Street Is with Michael and Gabby. We, as you know, we love creating this podcast, and thank you so much for tuning in.
Yeah, thank you so much. We'll be back next week.